Wow, how good was that? The love child of Sabbath and sleep. It's called Chaliceburner and it's from Coroza, and I'm delighted to say they are here with me in the studio, Jack and Ciaran. Good to see you, lads. How are you?
Good now, thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm delighted. It's like kind of 2 weeks in a row now. I've had two of my favourite bands down here, so I'm quite happy.
Class. What was the last week's one, was it?
Partholon. Howard,
yeah.
Lovely dude.
Some new stuff coming up to there.
Yeah, it's very good actually. It's interesting the way things are going, and it's the reason why I have ye on here as well, because we're all anxiously waiting for any white smoke to come up in the Coroza
Papal chimney.
Yeah.
So how's the last few months, I suppose, first of all, for you? The last gig he played probably was it can I think?
The November one, the Ritual of the Evil Eye.
Yes,
So
okay.
nearly 6 months without playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting period. It's kind of transitioning from one. The way I've been looking at it is kind of step one, the phase one of the band is kind of over with now, and we've recorded the album, and we've last few months then we've been writing new songs and just gearing up for the next step, and we've had a lineup change in the meantime as well.
Okay.
So we have Tomas playing bass now, and we're flying, putting some new songs together at the moment, and we'll actually probably have the bones of an EP or another album in the works soon enough as well.
Brilliant,
yeah.
So stockpiling stuff.
Cool. And how did you come across Tom? Did he do sound for you before or something like that?
Yeah, a good few times actually.
Okay.
And he's probably one of the only people that's nailed our sound within a few seconds, because he knew exactly what we were going for, really.
Okay. And did you know that he was is he a musician himself?
Yeah.
Okay.
He plays in a few different. He plays in some a punk band, I think, so, post punk or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's involved in a few things. Like he's in there's a drone project that himself and Mike McGrath are involved in called A Correspondent.
Okay.
A few lads from God Alone as well, and
Alright.
they set up and do kind of drone stuff. So he's one of these lads. He's involved in everything, even with recording and stuff. He recorded Cephalopod with Soothsayer last year as well.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
he's just one of these lads. He's he's involved in a lot of things, and so we knew personally that it was going to be a great fit.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't we just jammed with him, and I think we said to have 2 songs ready, and like we did Iron from the Sky and Scaltheen, we wouldn't expect him to have all the twists and turns of Scaltheen, but he came in, had the 2 songs down, and
that was brilliant.
A no-brainer, like we all said on the spot, get this guy.
In relation to the first EP, as you said yourself, kind of produced it.
Loosely, but
So am I correct in saying that Tom would be able to help you that way as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he knows the ins and outs of kind of everything to do with sound engineering in general. So yeah, I think when we were recording the EP, it was literally in the Cork Rehearsal Studios, laptop, Reaper software, drum machine, and sitting there for days on end recording riffs and
fucking years,
writing and rewriting everything.
Okay.
But yeah, it turned out okay, but obviously it was just a demo, I suppose. It was just for people to hear what we had. And on the back of that, we actually got a bit of traction and good few gigs lined up from it.
You did actually, yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I saw you, would that have been the second time you've played? It was actually Sporting Weed Priest and Stone Carver on November 2017.
Yeah.
Was that your second gig, or was
Second, yeah. Slung from a tree, I think we're playing that night as well.
Yeah, that was classic. That was same night Ireland were away to Denmark in the Euros. Remember it well. The nerves were something else that night now. But yeah, geez, what a way to kick off. We had one gig, and then I'd say it was about 3 weeks later that we were playing with Weed Priest, which would have been an influence as well.
Okay,
so
cool.
It was surprising how it kind of, because we just did the demo, didn't even have a drummer, and we just said we'd just put it out, and we didn't even really know many people in bands and stuff.
Okay.
Kind of outsiders, so to speak, and straight away we were just all these gig offers, and just everyone being sound about it, and we went from there.
But so when did Ollie join? But did he play on the demo?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. I think he had discovered us from the demo. I think
Okay.
his girlfriend actually came across an ad that we'd put up online for, you know, a drummer, some classified section somewhere, God knows where, probably Metal Ireland or something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and he just took one listen and he's like, sounds interesting.
What addition? What an addition.
Yeah, it just took off from there.
Fucking
Like,
hell.
like absolute game changer. Like,
Yeah.
so.
If there was one person that was able to pull off all those kind of weird rhythm changes and time changes, and like, it was definitely him.
Yeah.
Like we had worked with a few drummers before, but you know, just starting off a band, and we didn't like we had a direction in mind, but like we didn't even know each other that well personally, so we were just kind of forming the ideas.
Okay.
And we had a few drummers who were just kind of, as it went down, it just kind of wasn't, they weren't good fits. They were good drummers, but we just started going down certain avenues, and from like spending a lot of time actually in the rooms, about 2 years before Ollie came in, I think,
Yeah.
doing the demo, playing around with a few drummers and getting frustrated a bit with it sometimes, and then Ollie comes in, you know, you explain something to him, or you know, even you don't even have to explain it, you just talk about it, and it starts happening. Like,
Yeah.
Like we did audition 3 drummers, and like they were all phenomenal, but I think Ollie was the one who, he had sent us a video of him running through one of the songs, which was unreal anyway.
Yeah.
Like he did his
Right,
homework
okay.
on it. So, and then when he came in, he just knew them inside out, like these small little nuances on things that
Yeah.
we put in, you know, like
Yeah.
specific parts where, you know, a cymbal had hit during whatever type of riff or whatever, and he had them all kind of nailed. So
Nailed as well.
the
Yeah.
detail,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, I think we said 3 songs that time because we were still playing Iosis, and so I think we had Iosis, Iron from the Sky, and we said Scaltheen. So Scaltheen is really like how we've kind of ended up testing people out, not
Okay.
even meaning to do that,
Yeah.
but we said, you know, we always play it, so we'll throw it in, see how people get on with it. And he said on the night, he's like, I don't have that one, so I'd rather not play it. And we were
Right.
like, grand. And then that's when he made a video then that weekend. So while we were just we had discussed it, and we said, look, we'll come back in a week and think about it. In the meantime, Ollie sent us a video of him playing Scaltheen through, and you know, the kind of one take job. No, I know it probably wasn't one take, but it was just very
Probably about
impressive.
12.
Like, yeah, but yeah, that's Ollie. Like, so he was just kind of saying that he had been playing with On Pain of Death as well. So
Right,
like,
okay.
you know, great experience, been playing around for years. So he really kind of brought that element to it as well, like Joe, just being a bit savvy with gigs and all that kind of
Because
thing too.
like the first time I saw you was obviously that night, and I just presumed like a lot of people would have talked about you in actually glowing terms, even though you just had the demo out and stuff like that. But when I saw you that night, I thought, geez, this is a well-oiled unit. I'm actually very surprised.
Yeah, we've always been fairly meticulous in just like how often we practice, and
Yeah.
it's not even like we have to practice, lads. It's just a given that we'll be up there
Yeah.
every week. If we have gigs coming up, like I remember last summer we had a rake of gigs and we were recording, we'd be up there twice a week.
Okay.
And sometimes obviously it was a bit of a trek after work and stuff,
Yeah.
but we just became like a fairly hard working unit, like, but it was enjoyable all the while as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the band rooms then,
Dublin Hill.
Dublin, that's
Yeah.
where a lot of lads are actually.
That's that's where it's all happened. Some spot.
talent, in there.
Legendary
Jesus,
spot,
great,
like.
Yeah.
That's going to be somewhere that people will talk about for a long time.
yeah.
Joe, be one of these places that people will be telling tales about
Yeah.
for forevermore.
Like
It's,
Richie Cunningham running that place is like spot on, but like the operation he's running is unbelievable. Like
it's
you've got,
incredible.
you know, vending machines with guitar strings and
What? Are you
drumsticks
serious?
and
Yeah.
everything, like
Cans.
Cans of beer.
Oh yeah.
Everything you need, like,
But
one spot.
it is a mad place because there's so many different types of bands playing there as well. Like you could, like, there's a death metal band playing next door to like a trad band playing next door to a ska band. Like, so you walk down the halls, you can hear like all of Cork music together.
It's fantastic, isn't
It
it?
just feels like when you're in there, it just feels like you're in the center of everything. Like, it's great. It's just a very kind of homely spot as well. Like,
Well, that's what counts, you know. I mean, you know, you're in to make music and rehearse, you know. I mean, you don't want any fucking side distractions or
Exactly, yeah.
you know.
And we rent out a room. Like, you can rent rooms by the session or whichever, but we rent one with just us and Horse. So Joe, we have all our stuff set up all the time. We just come in and it's, we know.
And Horse are? Did you say Horse?
Yeah, Horse. They're a hardcore band.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't come across them actually.
Check them out. Yeah.
Okay.
They haven't released much stuff, but definitely a spectacle live.
Right. Okay.
They're all lads who've been around a long time, but I don't know what the story is with their output, but if you can catch them, and they don't really play metal bills either.
Okay, that's
so,
probably
like
it.
They're actually playing that It Takes a Village, festival in Trabolgan.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. That's this weekend actually.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hope to get the weather.
They're one of the only kind of harder acts on there, like amongst a bunch of DJs and indie bands and stuff.
Yeah, they're
but he kind of then went for Mammoth Fest as well. Like, how did that come about? Ciaran is smiling there. Go on, Ciaran, take it. Take it there.
Jeez, I can't actually remember how that came about. I think it was again just. Yeah, we obviously applied for it.
I think Danny just had put up a thing just saying
call out for bands. Yeah. But it was a good experience.
Oh yeah, definitely got the name out there now, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was a good way to get a good few gigs under the belt, like
Yeah.
So we had played like 3 gigs the previous year, and then came back the next spring and just played a rake of those gigs.
Yeah.
And
like we'd no intention of. Well, we didn't expect to go through anywhere. Again, it was just a gig to us. It was, good for us to be able to play to more people. But I think we got through to like semi-final.
We got to the final.
You got to the final, yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
But you then you can kind of nearly chart out the momentum you got, because Danny and Mark, both of them liked you a lot, and you got to play and got to play a good few gigs around Cork, and I think that's probably why he got invited to the Siege as well.
Yeah, I think as we said, we had the demo, but it's not something that we'd necessarily stand behind.
Yeah, I know,
because of the drumming and stuff.
I know.
But it was just building up the momentum from playing all these gigs. And Mark put us on a few of the Paranoid nights, and that was another good way of getting comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And then there was bigger opportunities came up then, but it was just from playing gigs,
and playing them very well, obviously.
Yeah.
One particular one stood out for me. Well, I was just delighted to see in the Siege anyway. But the one I was really excited to see was Conan.
Yeah.
That one in Cypress Avenue.
Yeah.
That was some experience. It was great.
And you had a serious crowd in there as well.
Yeah. Great venue too.
Yeah. You want to, I suppose if there was any neutrals that night, you definitely won them over on that performance alone. It was great.
Yeah. It was one of those things that, like, if someone said at the start of the band, like, that we'd be supporting Conan at some point, said, "Geez, that'd be savage."
Yeah,
for it to happen
within a year, like it was.
For it to happen in the first year was just
exactly,
phenomenal.
yeah.
But to be given that opportunity was just brilliant.
I'm trying to pat you on the back with your live performance, but fucking hell. I brought hearing protection to that gig, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah. Trying to do.
Yeah, they were so loud, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So kind of getting back to the album, I'm just intrigued. First of all, did you have someone in mind to produce it? Or what way did you approach it? Or
yeah, I think from the get-go, really, Ollie had always been talking about Shardborn in general.
Okay, Ciaran, yeah.
Yeah, and especially like their drummer, but Ciaran as well, like, because I think he has a reputation of just being one of the best for recording,
Yeah.
Like, the guy completely knows his stuff.
Yeah, he regularly comes up on the Metal Cell podcast.
Yeah, I can imagine,
Yeah.
He's a bit of a legend, like.
Yeah. So did you approach him, or how did that come about, or what happened?
Yeah, I think Ollie just sent him a few emails and kind of back and forth from there, and we set up. I think we started recording in September, October, thereabouts, and kind of
last year.
Yeah,
we actually, the first few days were in June.
All right, yeah.
So it was nearly a year ago now.
It was a fairly staggered process because
a
obviously
few days
we're
here
all
and there,
working different shifts and different jobs and things like that. So
up and down to Limerick then too, like.
Yeah.
So
it was fairly staggered. Like we'd go in, 2 at a time, maybe 3 at a time, or something like that, to kind of get various parts down.
Yeah. Now, at that stage, how many songs had you fully completed, or were you still working on stuff that wasn't quite done yet? Or
there's only one, I think, which is ends up being the title track, Chaliceburner. That was the only one that wasn't finished, but we had, was it 6 altogether, I think?
Yeah.
Including that, we had 5 ready, and instrumentally that was finished. Then we just finished some of the lyrics in that space of time. But yeah, it was as Ciaran said, it was a staggered process. So
Okay.
there was plenty of time in between, and there's so many gigs that we were just in the rooms all the time anyway.
Right.
So it was just very immersive at the time. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. Like it was a very good one. We learned a lot and all that.
Because I remember talking to you, Jack, a few months back, kind of wondering, should you, hindsight is great, should you have gone an EP? And I said it to you as well, Ciaran,
Yes.
that taking on an album for your first release is an awful
And
hard
especially
effort,
because like there's 2 songs on the album that are 20 minutes long each.
What?
Yeah.
There's an exclusive.
So,
70 odd minutes there altogether.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
it's like
Oh,
even if we wanted to put it on a vinyl, it'd be like 2 vinyls.
Yeah.
Final.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I know a lot of bands are doing the EP thing nowadays, and that's cool because with streaming and stuff, you have to kind of, it's about, I suppose, staying relevant and stuff. Not knocking that in any way. But we kind of sat down and like we said, how much output are we going to have overall? Like we just didn't know how long we'd be around or whichever. So we said, look, we go for the jugular, do a full album.
Yeah.
And an album is something that you're going to be able to look back on at any stage in years to come, and I think it will stand, musically perhaps not, but like as a piece, it has more of a chance of standing the test of time.
Yeah.
As just like anything you think of that has a legacy is an album, like an opus, like. So we was ambitious and not in any way practical in hindsight.
Nope.
But I still don't regret it, like, cause
But I mean, it is a learning period as well, like for both of you, What about kind of, had you any kind of team for the album?
No, there's not a major concept behind it, but I think like we just drew inspiration from anything and everything.
Okay.
Like the song "Iron from the Sky." I think I just read an article one day about how they found a blade in Tutankhamun's tomb that was made of iron, and that iron couldn't be found in that region in Egypt. So they traced it back to a meteor that had landed like in Alexandria or something. So I think these priests went off, got it, carved it into a blade. I was like, that's a metal song right there, like, in the making. Like, so we just kind of, there was kind of things like that we just loosely, but again, like, I think we always try and veil things so that it's not in your
too
face, obvious kind of cheesy, cliched stuff. Like,
it's definitely one of those albums that it's a collection of songs. Obviously there'll be themes running through it musically and stuff, but just the way it came together, because we were all kind of had input in that sense thematically. So like there's one song there, it's about like Coghlan and an old Irish poem, and how he transforms, kind of like the Hulk essentially, where they got that idea, just transforms into a beast, like, and that's Mountain Jaw then. So yeah, we went to it a few different places, and then there's the title track, Chaliceburner, was just like last year myself and Johnny went to Roadburn, and Stephen O'Malley from Sun played with Boris, and they had like a poster done by, what's your man who did the sleep stuff,
Eric Roper.
yeah. And I just saw the poster and I was like, we should do a song just about that image. It was, they were in a valley or whichever, standing around a fire, and there's just these like giant, like mountain sized like cabs and stacks behind them. I was like, that's that imagery, if we can just turn that into music, like it's just what we sound like.
I think it was that combined with, there was some interviews with Al Cisneros or somebody, or it could have been Matt Pike, talking about, the idea of like they were taking a coconut husk and turning it into a chalice to smoke
Anything
things
that
from.
Mike Pike says is God. Anyway, he's
so
a god.
That's the thing. For that one, we were just like, let's just do a song about our influences. Which was cool to do. It was fun.
That's a good idea too.
Yeah.
The title track, Chaliceburner, where is that musically wise?
But it's more of a kind of traditional song structure.
Okay.
We had done a good few songs where there's like stuff all over the place, and that was kind of a style we developed. But we said for this one we try and do verses and choruses.
Okay.
To put ourselves under pressure and do something like that.
Something normal.
But it came together nicely. Like.
Yeah, is there any instrumental on it?
There is, yeah.
Is there? There's two?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, Scaltheen is one, and then there's Acid God as well.
Right.
It's kind of more of an interlude track, but
Okay.
it came out like 5 minutes anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's more of it doesn't. I don't know, does it go to many places? But
it's fairly straightforward, kind of laid back, bluesy, kind of chaos-y type one.
It's hopefully it will work in the context of the album as well.
With Johnny going now, obviously that creates a problem for vocally wise. Are you going to take the reins, Jack?
We've split up the parts.
Okay.
So like Ciaran is doing a few of the parts in Plutonian, and I was doing a few parts in Iron from the Sky. But the way we had written the first batch of songs, there wasn't a whole lot of vocal parts anyway.
All right. Okay.
So we thought, like you said there, like would spring into your mind as a big issue, but and hopefully it won't be like when people see us again. But once we actually sat down and looked at it, there wasn't a whole lot to sort out. But
Right.
I think the next batch of stuff we're doing is a lot more like kind of vocally inclined, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
and how are you kind of coping with that? I mean, it's hard enough probably just to kind of concentrate on guitars alone.
Yeah, you definitely getting the hang of it more and more. I mean, the first few songs we did, putting vocals over it was tricky, but you have to just sit down and just get it into your head at home or whichever, spend hours at it. But the newer stuff is more. It makes more sense to have vocals in the places where there are vocals,
Right.
so it's easier. It's more kind of flowing, like, you know.
And sure, you got Ciaran there alongside you anyway.
Glorious
Right.
voice of an angel there, like, so.
But look, you know, it's a new direction. And, you know, I think some things work out the way they do, you know.
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well. You've got a gig coming up there in May the 18th with Zahora and Spirit Merchant anyway. So we'll definitely be there to watch you.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting night, actually.
Yeah.
I actually can't wait to see Spirit Merchant as well.
Yeah, what's going on with them? Does anybody know?
Ollie, it's shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
But, no, it's Ollie's drumming on it.
Okay.
You have Colin from Zora and Leon from Mendicant.
Oh, okay.
So I'd say it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of those three lads.
What do you think actually in general about side projects with bands? What about? Well, I'll throw that to you, Jack.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, like personally, I during the kind of hiatus, if you want to call it that, there between, like, there was kind of 6 months between we played a gig, and we weren't really writing or practicing that much at the time. So like I like a bunch of black metal songs lying around from a few years back, and it was something that I kind of needed to do, was to have an outlet. I view it as completely different and separate, so it's just something I needed to do, and it's something that I've enjoyed doing, and it actually put myself under pressure to put out full songs that I'd written, let's say, and
Right.
bring them to people, and, you know, in a different people, different environment.
Mm-hmm.
With the Coroza stuff, you'd often have scenarios where Johnny and Ciaran would come in with the big riffs,
Right.
and like I do like solos and, you know, in between bits and just leads and some textures and stuff.
Yeah.
But and that was great the way the roles kind of allocated themselves.
Mhm.
But you can kind of sit into a kind of a security zone as well, and there'd be some times where we'd be stuck for a riff,
Right.
and, you know, you wouldn't be in the swing of, you know, obviously sometimes you put forward riffs, but not prolifically or anything. So I think it was a good outlet, and it's something that has helped me in Coroza as well,
Right.
to just go and do it, like, because then with the new stuff with Coroza, I think it was December or January, we sat down, started to piece of new songs together,
Right.
and it definitely aided that process as
Okay.
well. So
Excellent.
yeah, only
And
good.
this side project then, can you give us any more information
So
on
it's going to be called Gelach, and we'll be playing black metal, basically,
Okay.
some old school stuff, Just kind of, it's myself, Dave from Appenham, and Jer, who plays in Everdead Wood as well.
Right. Okay.
So we're just kind of playing the stuff that we want to hear. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's not rocket science or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good fun black metal.
Yeah.
And it's a side project for all of us as well. So it's not going to be something that we're not like Coroza, where we're going to be looking for the gigs, playing all the gigs, not all the gigs we can, but just trying to be prolific live. It won't be that. It will just be something we can play a few times a year.
Yeah.
And
I think it's great to see, because again, I suppose Jim Spillane be a good example. Jim is drifting in between probably three bands, would it be at least?
Yeah.
Pavel as well,
Yeah.
Pavel is a
So,
fucking animal.
He is an animal, yeah.
A few lads in the Magnapina as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I mean, it's getting the time to do that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
And Con Doyle as well. Like, geez, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I'd be getting a bit of stick for that home the all time, like, but no, there's a lot that goes into it. But I'd be surprised too, like when you love doing it, it's a kind of, it doesn't count as a time consuming thing so much.
Because I mean, your background, Jack, is of a chemist, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Jesus, I make the drugs and you sell them.
yeah. Yeah, poisoning people, like
pharmaceutical drugs.
That's what's after melting our heads, like. But no, like I went through a few years there where I'd kind of, my schedule would have been fairly random, kind of on purpose. So I'd have midweek days off, as preferably to weekends.
Right. Okay.
So I'd sit down on a weekday when there's no one else around, there's no distractions, and just write or record and practice stuff at home, which is worked out nicely. But I kind of geared myself up that way.
Yeah.
But it is hard to balance. Like sometimes you just find yourself absolutely swamped with stuff. Like you'd have some, like when the gigs start rolling, and then
that's when the pressure comes on. Then especially now with you taking over vocals as well.
Yeah, like there'll
see
be
a squirm.
Yeah, there will be sometimes you play a gig and be a Sunday morning or whatever, and you just can't move, like, because you've just been on the go. Like,
what about you, Ciaran? I know you've held interest in art as well.
Yeah,
and actually very good at it too, I must say.
Cheers.
I enjoyed your works in Middleton, in the Middleton Gallery there. What's that? The Rivers? What's the name?
The Half Light Gallery.
The Half Light Gallery. Yeah, pretty cool.
Thanks.
What about you? That's your other passion, is it?
Yeah. But I suppose in terms of music, like, the last kind of, as Jack was saying, like the last phase of the band, like before, like things did get a bit tense for a while and stuff like that. Like I just started recording all my own stuff on the side as well, and I had originally intended to either release it on my own as an EP, like recording drums and stuff like that, or maybe try and get like 3 people together, maybe 4, and just do a side project as well, with Coroza again being the main kind of focus. But I think just the way things went, there was all those riffs were left over, and I think Ollie, you heard 1 or 2 of them, and that's kind of
Ollie demanded that we keep it.
So they kind of just we chopped and changed bits of them or whatever, but the main structure of them is still there. It was kind of, I don't know how you'd explain it really. It was like atmospheric doom mix of kind of slight bits of post metal and stuff like that. But again, like bringing it to the lads, it became Coroza, because like all our vocal parts, and of course we were like switching different ideas back and forth. So it kind of does mesh in with what we've done. I think the new stuff is a lot kind of harder hitting or something though.
Right.
It's seriously heavy, like, but it's still Coroza.
Yeah, like more straightforward in a way, but it's kind of, I don't know, I find it more engaging. Like here on, we like, we had that time where we weren't doing much, and then we came back and Ciaran was showing this stuff that he was gonna do himself, and myself and Ollie just looked at each other and we were like, this is the next step for Coroza, like, and in fairness, Ciaran was like, I don't want to dictate a different direction with it.
Right.
But we just, kept on to him and said, we want to play these songs, like, so either, all of us or some of us were going to be in this project as well, or else we're just, this is what Coroza does next.
Okay, so that's, will those songs then be the newer ones, we'll say, but are they kind of, they'll have to sit in a shelf and for a few months, will they? Well, like you mean, you can certainly, that's what I'm saying. You can certainly bring them out and test them out live anyway, which would be exciting enough for you anyway, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are used to seeing us play the old songs and stuff. And while the album has been like, you know, it's been a long time in coming, we don't want to just keep coming out and playing those songs.
I can understand that too. Yeah.
So live, especially with the local crowd, like a lot of the familiar faces and stuff. So we're going to move on and play some of the, like we're going to play 2 new songs in the upcoming gigs.
Cool.
Which we're very excited to do because it's a whole new phase for us.
Yeah.
And those 2 new songs aren't on the album?
No.
Okay. No. Right, that's
they were,
interesting.
they were like left, well, again, like I was going to try and do something on my own, but I'm kind of glad I didn't as well because I don't think I'd be able to find the time to do both of them. It'd either be one or, you know, kind of the other one might just peter out or whatever after a while. But yeah, it was good to actually kind of bring them in. And again, like with the lads bringing their own kind of flavour to it as well, it did become a Coroza. Like it's recognisable as us, even though it sounds a bit different. Like it's kind of off the path from where we were.
Yeah, the songs flew together as well.
Yeah,
like, you know, we sat down and listened to them.
I think now we're kind of in a more open, creative space where we can actually just say, look, this riff doesn't work. All right, take it out. There's no big discussions about anything.
I think kind of, would I be right in saying it, and just seeing you live, I think kind of Ollie is the glue to bring you back when you kind of move off in different directions. He's still... He's like
he does have one or two mad ideas that we have to kind of say no to.
Really, it's definitely, we've just developed a very good working relationship. So between us all, it just has, like, obviously every band has to find their feet. Yeah. But now I think we've found it, and the 3 of us get in the room, and now we have Tomas as well.
Right, okay.
And it's just it just happens kind of
more fluid or something.
Enough, like,
You
know.
But Ollie is great, like in the sense that if we would pitch a riff to him, and you know we're going to go into a completely different place in the song, he's able to just do some fill or some weird thing that can just tie them together seamlessly. Yeah. Whereas like you wouldn't see them fitting normally. Like if you're just thinking of it objectively, like he just kind of. I don't know how he does it.
How are you actually going to figure out a set list actually now? I mean, I know you've got like some long songs in there as well. How many songs did you play for the Siege? Was it 2?
3,
yeah.
It is always difficult,
it's
actually.
Tricky, but we kind of like there might be one or two 15-minute songs and then a 10-minute depending on. But yeah, we've had gigs like any other band that you Joe, you've been told your set is 45 minutes, and then you come in and it's like it's actually 40 or 35, and that doesn't work for us because.
And then there's been other times as well where like we just go into kind of jams and stuff like we don't really do that too often, but
we did it for one of the Paranoid gigs.
You did actually, that
was good fun.
Like got kind of mixed feedback. People were like, "What was that all about?" And other people were like, "That was amazing."
Yeah, but
we didn't really know what we felt about it. It was just like, just go for it.
And I think that's part of your identity too. To be fair, like I mean. There's not many bands doing that or would have the confidence to. That's what I was saying about Ollie. I think kind of he's like an anchor when you do that jam. I was watching him particularly, and I thought, he's going to dictate when the boys are going to fall back into.
There'll be a few nods given around the place, and you hope for the best that everyone latches onto it. But I remember Ollie saying recently actually that. Joe, I think he found it a bit stressful, but it was still. I thought it was a good thing to do because, say, if we are in a position, where if you're playing a tricky gig or the sound is bad or anything like that, it's like lads, we've played nearly a full gig off the cuff, so you can kind of rest assured you're going to get through any sort of situation if you can do that, like So
kind of social media wise, then. How are you going to figure out where you are in relation to, I suppose, an album release, first of all? Or how are you going to build up to that? Is it just through slowly working your way through gigs and then...
we're
still a tough one, isn't it?
Still thinking about it. Like, I suppose it all just rests on when we have the album mixed and when we have a kind of time frame in our own minds as to like when we can roll it out, because we do have a few gigs coming up. I think we've 4 in the pipeline, and there has been a few more offers as well, so maybe, I don't know, like depending on how things turn out, we could maybe do a mini kind of tour in loose quotes there, like, but to kind of promote it. But for social media, like I don't know, we've a few kind of small teasers and stuff that we have put together, but again, until we know where it kind of lies, we'll start kind of.
I enjoyed the clip of you just jamming there. Yeah, stuff
Maybe
like that
maybe
is
more of that. Like
stuff like that is actually quite good because
Yeah.
you're kind of listening and kind of going, Jesus, yeah, that sounds really good, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that. Also, Ciaran, you were telling me about the artwork for the album. Is that still a runner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't want to say anything about it
No,
because
no,
it's just,
I know, yeah.
I think
But
did I show
just-
you it before?
You showed me a section of it.
Oh, okay. Just a section.
Piece of a thing.
It is, yeah.
That's
it's
good.
phenomenal.
That's still
It's a-
staying put.
The guy that did it, he's an artist that I was kind of familiar with for years. Like since I was back in art college, I think I bought some like book of like digital illustrations or something. And this guy, he kind of does digital artworks, but they're so detailed. Like, again, it's not something I can explain, but he's just unbelievable. Yeah.
And did you work with him, or did you?
We sent him some.
Like a brief kind of just
Yeah,
outlining
right.
what it was, and he sent back one kind of finalized thing, and it was perfect. Like it was
Really,
just,
yeah.
there was
Got
no
it in
like
one.
retouches or anything that needed to be done.
Fantastic.
It was just spot on. Like
Yeah.
kind of, it absolutely captures like what the album is. Kind
That's
of.
it, exactly. I remember showing it to someone, I think it was Coghlan, and he's like, that looks like what you sound like. So that's, that's everything you
praise
want to
indeed,
achieve with
yeah.
it, like, so.
As a band, you've toured in Ireland. You've hit Dublin, Cork, Waterford, Galway. What about UK, Europe? Are you open? You have to be open to the possibility.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
definitely.
you know.
It's just a matter of time, really, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's one or two things flying around about this summer, but it just kind of too late organising it.
Right, okay.
With a few other Cork bands, but definitely down the line, like there's a good few lads going over and back now regular. Like Tent and Sug are kind of paving the way there
They
in
are,
a
yeah,
big
and
way.
Zahora
You
as
know,
well,
just making it.
Yeah.
Not making it. It's not like a massive deal. Obviously, it
Yeah.
is in reality, but the way they're doing it so regularly as well.
Yeah.
Just like we can just go and do that
Yeah.
as well, or even go with one of those bands sometimes.
Because, I mean, in my opinion, and it was interesting for Howard to say it as well, because I agree with what he said there about Partholon as well. They're more of a European sounding band, and I think your sounds as well, Coroza's sound actually would appeal to more of a European audience.
Possibly, yeah.
The guys that go to Roadburn
I think
and
so,
Desert
yeah.
Fest as well.
Yeah, I think so.
So
They
kind of,
have to get it out there somehow. Yeah.
I think it's odd with us because like we're, like you know yourself, we're such a mixed bag of like genres. Like I wouldn't be able to explain us in like 3 words. I'd have to use at least 7 like to kind
Yeah.
of say, well, we're a bit of this, a bit of that. Like there is something there that I think if you're into whatever type of metal exclusively, that you will find something within our music that you like.
yes.
Hopefully. But yeah, we are like a serious mixed bag. Like, so I think there is an appeal there for a lot of people. But then again, there could be other people that are like, what are they doing? Like when they just stick to like one particular thing. But I think for us, it's keeping it interesting for ourselves as well.
Just that's what we like playing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
so.
think that's like, it is the ethos of art is like if you're doing something that you fully are passionate about and you're putting your soul into,
Yeah.
someone's gonna like it. You know.
Well, look, maybe people mightn't get it the first time or the second time, but the third time they will, you know.
Yeah.
When they've
Um,
listened to the full 70 minutes, 3 or 4 times.
Throw it this way,
That's
lads. I'll
the-
take it
yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
Anyway. So kind of gig wise, then I have up there May the 18th, Freds, as I said, with Zahora. May the 25th, Dolan's with Zahora and Tombs.
Tunes, yeah.
That'd
buzz.
be a good buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
class.
you've only played Limerick only as the Siege? Is
Yeah,
that it?
I think that was
We
it.
did an outdoor
we
one
did
as
the
well.
Dagda's thing.
All right.
Dagda's
okay.
Eve, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of bands playing at that. It
class.
was
Just
crazy.
playing outdoor city centre Limerick. It was just ridiculous. Like you couldn't. I mean, it was in like a little courtyard thing outside a cafe, and there's a park behind it. And the Song from a Tree lads just have so much gear. They
Walls
brought
of
all
amps,
like walls of stuff. I remember being in McDonald's, which is a few hundred meters away, and I could hear Coghlan coming on, which is mad.
That was some lineup actually.
Yeah, that was a great night. And another one of those things is just like if I played something like that once, I'd be delighted, and then it just happened. It just happened, like.
Yeah.
But like all the heads, there's like people in the park who were just like, "What's going on?" And they're poking their head into it, hopping over the railings. And
Yeah. Well, what was the attendance like? Was it okay? Was it good attendance?
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
good. There was like
good.
people kind of coming in and out
Yeah.
as every band was playing. Like, but yeah, it was good crowd there.
yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So then you've the Metal United one in Cypress Avenue. That's really something to look forward to, lads.
Yeah. The new Cypress Avenue as well. Be good to
Sound in there now again, free.
It's a mad lineup for it as well.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's Danny's baby, and wish him nothing but success with that.
Yeah.
And then you're off to Fibbers on the 28th of June with Elder Druid Tombs again, and Iona Death Cult.
Yeah. That should be a cracker.
Yeah. What about the Tombs, lads?
They're
Do you like them?
They're spot on.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy. No, they're class. We've had a good few. We've been in contact with them, a good bit over a few gigs and whichever. But I think they played the first Paranoid pit thing in Fred's.
Right.
But yeah, great bunch of lads. Great sound as well. Like just
for a 3-piece.
Yeah. And I know they're called Gaia before doing instrumentals. But like Alex doing vocals now, he's like Chuck from Death or something on top of this thing. It's absolutely mad stuff. So I think they're a great band for us to be on a bill with as well.
Yes, they kind of complement you.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Just another thing then, with the new album, did you change sound wise, guitar wise? Did you, as you said, bring in kind of different kind of soundscapes to it? Or?
Since the album?
So with the new stuff.
Yeah. Like I've kind of changed around a few things. I got one of Moose, the Moose pedals.
Right.
He's a chap up in Dublin. He's in Wild Rocket as well.
Okay.
But I was messing around with all sorts of pedals and combinations. But recently I just got his Battle Hammer and just using that now.
Right.
And got new pickups as well, Zombie Dust pickups. So it's a much more simple rig, but I think it's a lot more powerful as well.
Right.
Again, just finding your feet, like going into the next gigs now. It's just so simple that there's so little now that can go wrong.
Yeah.
I've just damned myself there.
Damned yourself there.
But no, I think we're going to sound a bit like with Tomas on bass now as well. It's definitely, there's going to be a different balance of stuff.
There's a dynamic there, yeah.
Yeah, I know Ciaran has been messing around with a good few new sounds as well.
What about you, Ciaran? What you got?
I don't know, like it's similar to that. Like I've a good few pedals, but
Yeah.
I've actually just kind of honed it down to like maybe
Right.
5 that I kind of switch between. Like, and again, it just depends on what it is. Like there's I love just looking at weird posts on different social media things, like Reddit or whatever. Like I think I found this bizarre pedal. It was like one that Mike Scheid from Yob uses.
Okay.
It's like almost sounds like a choir, like
Yeah.
as a singing kind of
Jesus,
thing. But
okay. Your man actually, out of The Sword, makes his own pedals. Do you know
Oh,
that
yeah?
band, The Sword?
Yeah.
Do you know what his name is? The bass player with The
Hmm.
Sword. Yeah, he makes his
Yeah.
own pedals as well.
Pedals are it's an actual addiction that I think we all suffer from. Like the amount of money that's been spent on them. But like Joe, you are always finding out different stuff. And like Ollie, now we'd come in with a new pedal every 2 or 3 weeks, and Ollie's just like, "What are you doing, lads?"
Yeah.
But no, we do, and like even creatively, it does help. Sometimes you'll throw on like a new delay, or I got that dirty robot synthesizer and just have a laugh with it. And
Yeah.
you never know where it will lead.
Yeah.
There's some of those weird segments there that are in some of our songs. They've come
Yeah,
from
you're a
things-
band that
things
actually
like that.
can do that.
Yeah.
You definitely have a kind of a broader kind of sense of moving.
Well, I think since like we recorded the album, like I've kind of set myself 2 rules when I'm writing stuff. Is that like I normally play on an acoustic guitar, because if you can make anything sound heavy on an acoustic, it's gonna sound heavy. Like
Okay,
through,
that's interesting,
you know. And another one was just like, if I play a riff and if I bring it into the lads and I can't remember it, then it wasn't worth remembering.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if anything you can remember is going to be worth it. Like they're the ones that stick in your head. Like, so
Yeah.
it's kind of, I've just set those 2 rules for myself now. Is like, if I can't remember it, it just wasn't worth it.
Sometimes though, you just your memory just has been wiped clean.
yeah.
Like by some yoke you're playing some night and it's just gone.
Yeah, because
But,
back, like even since we started recording the album, like we had a folder Dropbox with just like hundreds of well, not hundreds, I'd say there was close to 100 riffs there of just, there was loads of potential, but then there was loads of crap as well. So I was
Yeah.
kind of having to sift through it and kind
Didn't
of
keep it on the phone and lose it. No,
That's
no,
happened.
like
That's
somebody.
happened to me. Yeah.
really, yeah.
yeah.
You
but
serious?
Again, like Ciaran said, you
Kirk
just
Hammett
move on.
effect.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, if you lost it, you didn't back it up, then you weren't we weren't pushed enough to do something about it. So yeah,
no,
try and just do
Hidden
proper
hands
demos now. Like yeah. But sure, these things, yeah, we just kind of drive on with it. But yeah, like what myself and Ciaran do a lot of the time is like we'll record riffs at home, like on our just like basic kind of, like Ciaran is far more advanced now, but like we just do stuff on Reaper at home and just demo riffs, and then we can send them to each other.
Okay.
They're good enough quality that you can actually, you can hear it, learn the riff at home,
Yeah.
come into the practice room then, and you're a step ahead.
Actually, there's one there in relation to what you reckon. You've around 80 minutes of music, is it?
On the album,
Yeah.
about 75, I'd say.
Close
so
to
so
like
that's tricky enough to learn a lot of that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, like it was just a matter of, I think, compounding one thing on top of another over time.
Yeah.
And we just kind of did one song at a time and
Okay.
practice all the other ones as warm-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Just a matter of hours, really.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Acid God, I think we might have played that once, maybe twice live,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, like as Jack was saying, it's more of a kind of interlude song in the album, so we're kind of like it doesn't really work in a live setting as much as.
So what two songs are you playing in Cork then in 2 weeks' time? Or what two new songs have you got titles on them yet?
They're kind of,
We have provisional titles. We won't, just in
Okay.
case.
Yeah.
But
subject to change.
Subject to change.
Yeah.
I tried my best.
yeah.
Okay, so then before you leave, then have you a rough idea when you want the album to come out?
Jeez, ideally by like the end of summer, if possible. Like,
Okay.
The end of last summer.
The end of last summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Boys of summer.
like basically as soon as we can get it out, we will.
Yeah.
It really is as simple as that. But like again, you know yourself, like when these things happen, there's like so much stuff that needs to be finalized afterwards as well. Like,
Or I've got an idea. Maybe you could release the EP first. And there,
That's
you
not
a bad idea.
that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, at this stage we are actually saying, what if we could record the next EP by the time the album comes out, you know?
Yeah.
But you would see.
and then write
Not
more
far
stuff.
off it, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might do. We're thinking of doing a third song. They're all fairly long, hefty, and do the three of them. They could clock in at 35 minutes or whichever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just release it. Could even be an album by the time it comes around, like,
Yeah.
and
Double album, lads.
yeah. Start with a
2
double
hours
album
long.
and see where you go from there,
That takes balls.
or just stupidity.
Have you any shout outs? Where can people find you, lads? On Instagram, for example, or are you all,
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook anyway, and
all under
like,
Coroza, yeah?
Twitter as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose
Don't think we ever
Bandcamp
do
is,
anything on Twitter.
the format nowadays for
Yeah.
bands like us, music wise.
T-shirt wise, any merch still available?
Yeah, we have some left from the old batch, and we're gonna have album themed ones soon as well.
Cool.
That Ciaran's actually designed himself.
Okay, nice one.
They'll be coming in soon enough, I'd say. Once we get a time frame, like we're going up for like a final mixing session in Limerick with Ciaran this month,
Right.
and hopefully we'll have an idea then that when that will be finished mastering, and we'll have a better idea than things like merch and releases and stuff. We'll have a good idea of.
Can you have anything but black T-shirts?
Yeah.
We had the white ones.
Yeah, you had the white ones.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
I bought the black one. Then you
Yeah.
fucking released the white
Yeah,
ones.
the
Thanks,
white one
lads.
is,
Running out of space for
Yeah,
fuck's
yeah.
sake.
But yeah, different colours.
Yeah,
Who knows?
there's been a few purple ones going around recently, like
Tie-dye.
the
Tie-dye.
tie-dye ones. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, no, we'll branch out. But even like again, Tent and Slug doing the whole like their merch thing is great.
class,
Like
yeah.
grinders, everything. It's just why not? Like you know,
it's fun.
it's very doable. It's just again just a matter of doing it. Like,
Mm.
and you see like people it sells. You're getting the name out there, and it's a bit of crack as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and
so why
Keep an
not?
eye out for
And
Coroza cup holders.
Battle vests are back.
Action figures, lunchboxes.
So that's it, lads. Thanks a million for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, Richie.
I just wish you nothing but the best. You know that yourselves.
Yeah, same to you, because like
Um,
this podcast is like badly needed. You know,
Cool.
it's great to see someone doing it.
Cheers.
Absolutely. It's and like all the gigs you've I remember you dropped the lads home to Middleton one
That's
night
right,
after
yeah.
on the gigs and
Yeah.
dropping up posting t-shirts around the country to people. So fair play to you.
Yeah, anything I can do to help, lads.
Cheers.
So you've been listening to the Metal Cell podcast with Coroza. Just want to wish the lads nothing but success. They're a great Cork band. You can find The Metal Cell on Instagram, Facebook, and contact me at themetalcell@gmail.com. It's a beautiful sunny evening outside, but the darkness is about to descend because I've got the second exclusive track from Coroza, Scaltheen. So crank it up, it's about to get heavy.